Hey guys, I'm going to do a video today on the optics plates for my two newest handguns. They kind of have something similar going on with them, so that's kind of what I want to talk about, and that's kind of modularity between optics plates. Most firearms, when you buy a gun straight out of the manufacturer, it comes with a set footprint for an optic, and then you're forced into buying a specific brand of optic. Usually, multiple companies will make one type of footprint, but you're kind of stuck with that footprint. There's no real way around it without buying an adapter plate. So, first, we're going to talk about the Glock. I have a lot less to say about this than I do the other one, so we're going to cover this first. So, the Glock, we'll do our safety inspection. Safe. We're not going to close the slide or do a trigger pull, but here's what we've got. We've got the Glock MOS optic cut, and you can see it's a very deep cut for an optic. I'm going to compare it to this, so we'll do our safety inspection. You can see, I line these up, that this on the Glock has a much deeper cut than the RXM. All right, I'll do it in reverse so you can see when I line them up. Yeah, it's a little harder to see, but it's about twice the size. So why? Why is it deeper? And the answer is because they want you to use these little adapter plates. So kind of neat that they are just jumping into that. They don't actually have a way to hard mount an optic to the slide. So what you're going to do is you're going to get these adapter plates. The Glock 19X comes with the O2. The O2 is meant for the Trijicon RMR footprint. And all you're going to do is you're going to take your plate, you're going to line up the screw holes and pop it in there. So you can see there's no wiggle room because it comes with a nice channel there, and that channel is on the frame, or the slide, I should say. And because it's no wiggle room after you put the screws in, it's going to be very tight and mounted quite well. And it'll give that nice little accent. They even managed to score the side of the adapter plate so it lines up with your finger grooves there. And now it's ready for an RMR, and these holes will go into the bottom of the optic. These will be screwed down to the slide, and then these holes right here are for mounting the optic itself to the adapter plate. Okay, that's pretty much all I have to say about this. What we're going to do is talk a little bit about the non-optic plate that it comes with. So this is just the factory plastic plate that comes on top. You can see it's a very bulky, boxy looking plastic plate. Nothing special about it. Very cheap to manufacture. They did ridge the side of it just like the adapter plate so that it fits with the finger grooves. But there's not, it's very clearly Glock being like, fine, we'll put an optics cut on our gun. And then they gave you the cheapest cover for it because, again, if you have an optics cut, you're going to be putting an optic on it anyways. They don't want to spend the extra money to put a metal optic plate. Okay, RXM. Here's what we're going to talk about. So the RXM has a very funky thing going on. And as you can see, it's got a bunch of holes that look like screws go in there. And then it's got these small little holes right here that seem to have something that you insert in them. And what that something is are these. They come in a little bag with the torque wrench required to remove the plate and what's called locator pins. And there's 4 of them. My understanding is you probably only need 2 of these things for each optic, and I think they are universal. They fit in all the holes. We can test it, though. So let's put one back here. I guess you do need 4 because some optics have 4, just not ones I'm very used to. So yeah, they just fit in these little holes. We will do the Trijicon RMR for comparison. So if I were to put one here, and then in the adjacent side over here, you can see now I have 2 nodules that would fit sort of like this adapter plate. And if I compare the adapter plate, you can see right there that they line up. And then these 2 holes where you would screw in your optic to the plate fit these 2 holes right there. So this is the Trijicon RMR setup. And now you have a modular ability to put an RMR and hard mount it directly to the RXM. I think that's really, really cool. With just the small machining effort that it takes to put in 3 different screw sets and then 3 different little hole pins where you can place all your pins. Now you can fit 3 different optics mounts directly to the slide, meaning you don't have to tinker around with an adapter plate. So I can't say much more positive about that. I do wish that other firearms companies would adopt that kind of modularity. I think modularity in the handgun game is something that's been lacking. I was a really big Sig Sauer supporter until Sig started having all its issues with the misfires and whatever. But now that RXM is in this game, they've kind of stepped that up. They're not just being like, oh, you're going to use our optics, because Ruger doesn't really make optics, at least not to the level that other companies do. So they've just adapted, hey, like the benefit of using our gun is that you can use any of these optics. So here is your plastic plate. It is also plastic. It is a little more streamlined. You can see they put their logo on it. It looks much cleaner in terms of how it mounts up to the gun, but it is still plastic. So they are expecting you to replace this basically and put an optic on there. Not a big deal. Just don't damage it when it's off. Don't try to like bend it or warp it, because then you won't be able to put it back on. So once it's on, it's pretty much going to be flush on the gun. Won't be an issue. You will be able to scratch it or scrape it when it's on the firearm, so don't drop your firearm. But that's pretty much what I have to say about that. So if you have any comments or questions, drop a comment. I will respond, and thanks for watching, guys.